And I want to start it off by talking about updates with the reflection token. And I can bring up that website. We read it on the show this morning. Really interesting, some of the mechanics there with the staking. And then, you know how people are saying the best ZenFT deal was on that one ZenFT? I can't remember the name of it. And now I'm feeling like there might be a reversal because of this reflection token. So I wanted to talk to you about that.
Sure.
So I'm going to pull up the website first. Now, how far are we with the reflection token? If you were like thinking on your feet, like at what point are we getting to where the reflection token distribution might be?
So I'm thinking very loosely Q2, which means 6 months from now. However, um, I'm sandbagging, meaning that I'm just giving myself enough time and timeline to actually spend the time to design it properly. So right now we're in the design phase, specifically economic design phase. So we want it to be designed in the best possible way for people to be interested.
Yeah, is it a hard balance keeping everyone interested as we go along? Like, is that something you have to think about, or is the community kind of picking up on the interest pretty smoothly, in your opinion? Like, is it kind of they're keeping interested throughout this whole process?
For sure, community is very interested. I'm actually surprised how much interest I'm getting for the reflection token. And I think it was very good that we announced it before the NFT launched. That strategy really worked better. Well, first of all, the truth of the matter is that we're always designing something new. We didn't want people to feel like there is a new project that launched and now there's another project and another project and another project. What we're gonna do is we'll already published the roadmap as far as what we're doing on Twitter, and that sets the narrative and expectations. And you know how there's always been this concept, no expectations of any kind. Now I feel like this is not an issue for us, and I feel like expectations are absolutely a must. People should have expectations. They should have expectations in things like working code, new projects being built by my team on top of Zen. There's nothing wrong with giving people expectations because it drives interest, it drives value, it drives research, it drives all of the great things. The only time you do not want to give any expectations is when you're trying to weasel your way in by holding a huge bag of a token, and then you're saying, "Oh no, no, no! I cannot talk about what will happen because I'm pumping my bag."
I see what you're saying there. You nailed it. You nailed it. You have a good way of explaining that because it's hard to work through all those concepts. It is so important, the distribution of Zen and the transparency, because what you're telling me is, and this has been fed to me too. I still kind of feel like this until you just said that. Um, all these things can't happen because of the securities rules, but Vitalik does all these things. Vitalik has a roadmap.
Huge roadmap.
It's like it's the best. It's a good read. It's a long read. It's very technical.
Yeah,
It's
and
dense.
I think uh, him providing a roadmap actually attracts a lot of interested developers, and that's key for having a vital project. You want to have more developers out there building interesting things, and we want to support them, obviously.
Yes. And how does that work? Support. And I'm just asking because, like, okay, I'm a Zen. Let's say I'm a Zen builder, and I reach out to you. I reach out to Zensu. I reach out to everyone I can reach out to, and I say, hey, I'm giving it all. Would there just be some moral support there and some unity within the telegrams and maybe a stream together, something like this? Like, is that what
Well,
support looks like?
well, it isn't just moral support. So speaking of Telegram, so we do have a Telegram's developer group, and in that group, let's see how many people do we have. We have 33 developers that are representing their own interests, obviously, and they're supported through the obviously strategy and technical implementation. Like proof of burn, within Zen needs to be explained, and people need to understand exactly what they can do and what works and what isn't. And they all exchange ideas between themselves. And by the way, 33 developers, if you go back to the Metcalfe's law, um, 1 or 2 developers can do only so many things and exercise so many or develop so many ideas. But 33 developers constantly coming up with interesting things. Some ideas are not so good, but some ideas are amazing.
Well, that's like a university kid. 33 guys paying attention for real, like for real paying. That's dangerous.
Yeah.
First of all, and you can see it with Vitalik. He's 100 steps ahead of all these other guys with some of his scaling implications for layer ones, right? Like
Well,
he's so far ahead from the other layer one guys.
well, once you have a critical mass of developers or just developers who are loosely associated, you end up reaching a critical mass of performance in design and the future roadmap. So, like, for example, our roadmap actually being affected by all of the ideas that those guys have generated.